Welcome to the Sales to CEO podcast. This is your host, Louie, Herron. This is the only automotive podcast that shows you how to go to the next level. It is my personal mission to coach and inspire and motivate you to go from sales to dealer principal or any level you desire. Stop making excuses and start making adjustments toward the future you want. Today, we've got one of my most prime-time players, Mr. Taurus Ross. What's up, guys? Your host, Louie Herron. I'm excited to bring you somebody that's near and dear to my heart. Special guy I've known for many, many years, and we're talking about the Sales to CEO program, and we're talking about growth and talking about people going to the next level. This guy has gone from floor closer all the way to general manager. He's done a phenomenal job. He has a great career, and I want him to share some of the things that he's done, and we're just going to talk success. Taurus, what do you think about that?
All right, I'm good with it, Lou. Let's go, man.
Yeah, man, let's do it. Well, listen, before we get started, Taurus, why don't you kind of share with the audience a little bit about, kind of when you got in the business, what did you do before the car business? Because it was nothing remotely close to the car industry. And then you get into the business, then you and I connect, and then obviously there's coaching and training over years. We worked together, and then you went on your own. You did your own thing. Right? You came out from under my wing, and you did some amazing things, and let everybody hear kind of how that went down.
Absolutely. Hey, guys, Taurus Ross. I'm currently the general manager of Ford Mitsubishi in Fort Worth, Texas. But, just kind of want to kind of tell you about my career and kind of where I started from and to where I am today. Obviously, when I started out, I went to college and got a couple of degrees and got into education. I was actually a school teacher, taught English for like 6 years. And after that, wanted to go next level in the education business, and I became an assistant principal. Obviously, unfortunately, that wasn't working for me. I love the job, but the money part of it was just not there. Went to school for 7 years and maxing out at that point, at $60,000 a year, which equates to about $5,000 a month. Decided to move from Texas, Houston, Texas, and move to Atlanta, Georgia, and get the car business. And got in the car business, and the first dealership I was at was Legacy Toyota, and that's kind of where I met Louie. Been knowing this guy and he and I've been rocking for a long time. We're coming up on about almost 17, 18 years of obviously being in the car business for me, myself, and probably out of those 18 years, probably honestly about 13 of those years were with Louie, directly working close to Louie, and I was obviously connected with Louie. And just kind of want to share with you a little bit about, kind of where I started from, like I said, to where I am today. Met Louie, and Louie came in as my general manager. And I was a floor closer at the time. Actually, I was selling cars. I was kind of between selling cars and being a floor closer. Met Louie, and, Louie came in, and, I'll never forget one of the first conversations. Well, for the first conversation I had was, hey, Louie, I'm not going to get fired, right? Because obviously, those car
you remember that?
I can definitely remember that, bro.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That was crazy.
In the car business, one thing about, and Louie.
I was going to fire you too, by the way. I mean, I really was.
Well, I never heard that, but I'm glad you didn't.
I really. Those are listen. If you can see Taurus, how you can obviously feel his energy when he's talking. There was no way I was going to let this guy go. He had a lot of horsepower.
Yeah, man. I mean, so at first, the Louie I know today, or I knew, years ago, was not the Louie. Like, hey, my God, Louie's coming in. He's taking over the store. Kind of heard a little bit about him. A very successful car guy. Been in the car business for a very long time. And if you touch the store, he's going to take it to the next level. So I'm like, I would like to be a part of this, but hopefully it'll keep me around. Louie never told me he was going to fire me. And, I'll be honest with you, that's probably the joke of the day because he was never going to fire me.
Hey, but let me stop you right there real quick. And because you mentioned something earlier, I just want to go back to it real quick because I think people that listen may understand where you are at currently in their lives. When you're talking about when you and I were going to get together and I came in and brought all these people in the dealership, right? And you're sitting there and feeling like a wounded duck. Like, what am I going to do here? And I called you in my office. Tell everybody, like, how did you process that fear, right? Because I think fear is a big thing. And here you don't know who I am, and yet you still had the confidence to get in the office with me. And then when we talked about getting direction, then you had to go perform. So the fear didn't really go right away, right? I mean, how did you overcome that, and what went through your mind?
All right, I'll be honest with you. I'm hearing about, what's going on. I'm watching some people come and watching people go. And I'm still there. And Louie, I'll never forget this. Like it happened like yesterday. Louie called me in the office. Hey, how you doing? I'm a little nervous. I'm doing great, sir. Okay. He said, so how's it going? It's going great, sir. Listen, guys, I'm waiting for Louie to tell me I'm not getting fired, okay? Forget everything else you're talking about. I'm doing great. You're doing great. Just tell me you're not going to fire me, and then let the party start. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So anyway, he brought me in, and he said, hey, look, man. I say, he said, look, I like you. I like your energy. I like your attitude. I think, I can make you a successful car guy. I'm like, oh, great, okay. And he kind of asked me about I said, listen, I just got a car business, but I want to get to the next level. Like, I didn't, change careers to just be in the car business and be a floor manager or, be a salesperson. I want to get to the next level. I want to be GM. I want to be dealer, principal. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, I'll never forget this. Louie said, listen, if you follow my lead, if you do things I tell you that I tell you to do, and one thing that sticks in my head that years ago that's still in my head today is Louie told me, process sells cars. Never understood that then what he was talking about. But when he said that, do you remember that Louie had that conversation?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Process sells cars. Okay, all right now. But he also said, listen, I have the process. I have the tools to help you be successful. Hey, can you help me be a GM? I can get you there, Taurus.
Hey, but you just said something. This, if I could drive one point to people that are listening right now, if I were to ask you, Taurus, do you think you're anybody special?
No.
And I don't think
I'm just a country bumping me sexy. That's all I am, bro. Yeah. That's it.
Right? and I don't think I'm anything special. But when I talk to folks about Sales and CEO University, it's not about the person. It's about the process. It's about the information. Because anybody can do it.
Right.
You came and I cut you off, but tell them before you got in the car business, you were a school teacher.
Yeah, I was. Yeah, I didn't know nothing about the car business. I knew nothing about the car business. All I knew was I had a job and I didn't want to get fired. But one thing I had, listen. And this one thing about, with working with Louie, if you, first of all, if you tell her, hey, Louie, this is what I want to do, with the knowledge, this guy's been in the car business over 20 something years, 25 years, whatever the case should be, this guy's owned 3 dealerships. I mean, why would I not want to listen to this guy, And at the time, I heard about his career, obviously being, coming from, and obviously, listen, you got to realize, Louie didn't start out being a general manager. Louie didn't have parents that owned a dealership or had someone that give him, $5 million to go buy a store. Louie, Louie's career started. Louie, you were a bartender, you were a waiter, a bartender, something.
Yeah, you worked at Chili's, man.
Yeah, Louie's at Chili's, making, $3-4 an hour, getting tips or whatever the case should be. And somebody came to Louie and found out, hey, listen, this guy seemed like he could be a successful car guy, So, and that, the respect I've had for Louie over the years is just the fact that Louie actually started from the ground level up to become the car guy that he is today, So as I started learning about his career, because obviously we became very close over the years, and he started kind of telling me, things and how he got to where he was today, But I'll be honest with you, man. I mean, listen, Louie brought me from, being a floor manager and, obviously going from, from Taylor Toyota to World Toyota, and my career going from being a floor manager to being a sales manager to Louie probably be a general manager to Louie allowed me to run his store once we got to Louie Herron Toyota. But once again, I'll tell you, the only, I will say the biggest impact that Louie has made on my career, and even after the fact, Louie, I mean, at one point, throughout my career, I mean, when Louie was, branching off with, Louie Herron Toyota, I was able to go to Nissan UC. You remember that, Louie? When,
absolutely.
Nissan UC. So, left there, went to Nissan UC, and that was my big break, And so at that point, I was, I wasn't with Louie. But I had the opportunity to say, you know what? Now, this is the time I got to take the things that Louie taught me, and I got to put those processes in place. Once again, process sales cars. People, process, inventory. Those things Louie taught me, and I won't forget this, and I'll also say this, when I was in, every time I go to Louie's office, I literally, to this day, I probably got about 5 or 6 notepads of things that I've written down over the years and things that Louie taught me. So, it's my big joke to Louie when I took over the Nissan store and he was selling 70 cars a month, and he and I would talk, hey, how you doing? I get my store to 200, 225, 250, 275, 300. Hey, how you doing, T? Louie, I'm just using what you taught me. I just took your playbook. I just moved to another store, and now I look like a hero.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So,
where was my check? I didn't get no checks from those stores.
Yeah, I mean, I promise you I had some big checks.
I know you did.
Thank God for Louie, right?
Well, thank God for Taurus, because you did exactly what I did, and that's basically learn. However you got the information. Of course, you had a relationship with me, which was positive. But the most important thing is you put it to work. You did it every single day without fail, and there was no exceptions. And one thing that I loved about you, Taurus, that you've always had is you've always had that intensity, and you always had it. If this is the play we need to run, and this is what will get us in the end zone, I'm gonna run that play. And you never deviated from that, Absolutely. And you did it so well when we worked together that, like you mentioned, I wasn't even around you at 2 or 3 of the dealerships that you performed at a high level.
Absolutely.
And ran those same plays. And I'm sure you've learned things to add to them, because you got your own experience. So
Absolutely.
So I want to kind of leave folks with always a little bit of meat. So I'm going to put you on the spot on this question. You ready for this?
I'm ready. Let's go.
You got to wing it. So I'm going to give you an opportunity to answer it. Then I'm going to answer the question myself to the best of our ability, right? And so I want to know, based on your experience in the car business, how many years now? 17 years?
17 years in the car
17 years in the car business. If you had the opportunity to stand on a mountaintop, and on the mountaintop was all the car people in the world, all the car people in the universe.
Oh, my God.
They're all looking at you. And you told them, Look, there are 3 things that you've got to do to get to the next level. I'm not prompting you. I want you to think this through. You are on the mountaintop, and there is millions of car people, and they're clamoring to know, what's it take? Taurus, what does it take? Mm-hmm. What are the 3 things you're going to tell them?
Process.
Okay.
People. And inventory. And guess where I got that from? Process, people, inventory. Guess where I got that from, Louie?
I wonder.
His name is Mr. Louie Herron.
Yeah, but I've got 3 other things. So we can combine these 3 and make it 6. So all the car people, not in the universe, all the car people that are listening to the Sales CEO podcast right now, all the car people. And by the way, share this with all the other car people because we're about to give you 3 things that I think will help you out dramatically. If I'm on a mountaintop Taurus and I'm speaking to all the car people in the universe, and I said, look, this is what it takes to get to the next level. The first thing I would tell them is the first thing you got to do is you got to make a decision that you want to go to the next level. You got to decide for yourself, what level do I want to go? Do I want to go to GM? Do I want to go to dealer partner? Do I want to go to dealer principal? Do I want to be a forecloser, F&I director? Where is it I want to go? Once you make the decision, when you make a decision, like if you take the word decision, right? Incision means to cut into, excision means to cut out, right, and decision means to cut off. When you cut off all of the possibilities, this is the only place you're going to go, the only thing you're going to do. I think that's number 1 thing. Make the decision. Number 2, I think you got to get the information. And what I mean by that is, if I look back at my career and what made me very successful, yes, there was a lot of effort, a lot of good attitude and all that kind of stuff. But quite honestly, if I never learned the words, if I never learned the phrases, if I never learned the closes, if I never knew the presentations, if I never knew how to do it and I didn't get that information, I would have never succeeded. So I took the time coming up in the car business. You were a little fortunate because I was preaching and teaching the same stuff Absolutely. I was learning, right?
Absolutely.
But for me, I didn't have a teacher. I didn't have a coach, right? So I had to get the information. So I went to the Paul Cummings and the Joe Verdes and the Grant Cardones of the world. At that time, Jackie Cooper. These were guys way back when. And I took all that stuff and I practiced, drill, rehearse, study. So I think you need information. If you've made the decision to go to the next level and you want to be a GM, you better get the information on how to become a good GM. You've got it, whether it's NADA Dealer Academy, NCM, whether it's Louie Herron Sales CEO University, I don't care where you get it from. If you are going to do that, you need the information, right?
Absolutely.
And then the last thing I would tell them is you got to be relentless. I think when it comes down to it, somebody who's relentless in their pursuit, they don't stop. They may take a rest, but they don't quit. They keep moving forward. In the car business, you are going to be faced with adversity. Not only in the car business, you have adversity at your home. You have adversity with your children. You have adversity with your paycheck. You have adversity with your savings. You have adversity with people, in the family passing away. You have all these circumstances that will hit you every single day. If you're not relentless because you haven't made the decision and you haven't gathered the information, I think it's going to be very hard pressed to get to that next level. Taurus.
That's some good stuff, Louie.
Is it good stuff?
That's some good stuff, bro.
Well,
you still got it, Louie?
I still got it.
Louie's it's not gonna let him lose. He's not gonna lose. He's a natural guy.
You know what they say though? You can't draw from an empty well, man. It's one thing that I'm so grateful to God. I'm so very fortunate that God made me individually the way I am to be able to process information of encouragement. My wife, she always tells me, I know what you are. You're an encourager, And I like to think I'm a leader. I'm a little more than just, because encourager sounds passive and soft, right? But really, if you back up and you look at it, this world needs encouragement. People Absolutely. Need to get a boost, kind of a kick in the ass to get better every day and feel good about getting better and feel good when they don't feel good about themselves, right?
Right.
And so, like usual, she's right, and I am a natural-born encourager. But I have done the business for over 25 years, which makes me a little bit of a leader and gives me a little bit of acumen to understand this business game of cars and automotive. So anyways, Taurus, what last words you have, sir? I'm very grateful you took the time to come hang out and get on the podcast.
Well, I'm glad to be here, Louie. But the last words that I have for you guys, is just, here's one thing, obviously I've spoke about Louie and his career. And, I will say this, obviously because I've been with Louie, I can say this. I can pretty much tell you about Louie's entire career. Louie was 32 years old, first youngest dealer of a Toyota store within Southeast Toyota, which is about 5 states.
You love saying that too.
I love
Is that sexy? That's kind of sexy. I'm gonna be honest with you.
That's an amazing story.
Yeah,
I was there.
Hey, you know what I like better?
I feel like I was like a movie star with this guy. Like, oh my God, we're going on a walkway in Hollywood, baby. Let's go. You know what I'm saying?
You know the one I like? I like, honestly, like the youngest dealer in Southeast Toyota. I love that. But what really gave me an aha moment of like really humility and like gratitude of like how lucky and fortunate I was to be so young is there's 3,300 Toyota dealers in the country.
Absolutely.
3,300.
Absolutely.
And I was one of those.
Absolutely.
You know, and you helped me build that store.
Absolutely.
You helped me do that. And the people that we brought with us helped me. Everybody along the way. And those that are listening, I can't tell you, man, if we're talking about leadership, that's a whole nother podcast, but I can't tell you how many people has helped Louie Herron. I mean, Louie, I've been so blessed. I've had the best people that genuinely cared for me, looked out for my business and worked hard. And you were definitely at the top of the list, sir.
Absolutely. And I'll say this too real quick, because, I've been doing this thing I've been rocking this carpet for a very long time and met a lot of people. But one thing I'll say about Louie is that, if he tells you something, you can go and write a book on it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he told me when I met him years ago, hey, I'm going to take you where we want to go. And I said, this is where I want to go. And he's taking me there. So, this sales to CEO, man, I'm excited about it. I'm excited for Louie. And if you guys, once again, if you want to get to the next level, if you're a salesperson, if you're, a sales manager and, you want to be a GSM or a general manager, if you're a general sales manager, listen, this sales to CEO, man, I'm telling you, when Louie talks about next level, this is next level. And one thing about Louie, been with this guy for a very long time, the guy, he's simple. When I say simple, I don't mean that into like a derogatory statement. It's the fact that he's a people person. He's an everyday people. Even as my owner for years, I mean, Louie is involved in the leadership every single day, and that's the kind of person you want to lead you. So, hey, listen, Louie, I'm excited about this, man.
Thank you, buddy.
Thanks for.
And I'll give you. And when this is done, I'll give you the paycheck. Appreciate all those nice things you said.
So I'm gonna let you guys go because I need to tell them how much it's gonna cost. I'm just saying no. Listen, guys, I'm glad to be here and listen. If Louie Herron, Louie Herron's got this thing going, and I think you guys, anyone that can get involved with this or even tap into this, I'm telling you guys, next level. I'm a testimony. I'm not a guy that Louie just met down the street yesterday, met around the corner. I'm a guy that's been rocking this guy for 13 years, and this guy's taking me, to where I was in the car business to today, running a Forward store in Forward, Texas, and don't forget, once again, my store is the #1 retail Mitsubishi store in the country. So, Louie, thanks again.
It doesn't get much better than this. I'm sitting here doing a podcast with one of my best friends who's explaining his journey, which is awesome to hear. I've got my wife's foot in my hand. Do you want to say anything, honey? You want to say anything? See, you have the luxury.
By the way, Louie's not telling you, but she told Louie don't touch her toes, so I don't know what's going on with that. I'm just. You
got anything to say, baby? You got anything to say?
Wendy's my girl.
No,
love some Wendy.
See, but you guys don't know behind the scenes that the sales to CEO and all the stuff on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, you name it, marketing's boot camps, podcasts. I tease her all the time. It's like she's 95% of the business, and I get to claim like 5 of it. So she's the rock. She does everything.
Lou actually told me a while ago, and I don't mean to like discredit what he's saying, but he told me 97, so the percent goes, it kind of rocks up and down. Yeah. Well, but before it's over with, I'll probably say, Wendy's probably about 98%, and he's 2%. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because if I'm sitting here and I'm looking at this, guys, we got like 5-6 computers. We got the setup. I feel like I'm in the studio. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And this is awesome, man. Yeah.
So listen, as we close this down, anybody listening, let you know there's a fee that I charge when you listen to the podcast. It's real simple. Just go down and give us a rating down below. Share this with some other automotive folks. Like the podcast and download the podcast, and we appreciate you guys listening, and hopefully we'll continue to bring you some phenomenal car content, automotive business, leadership, motivation, inspiration, education, whatever you need, we want to bring it to you. So until next time, this is Louie Herron. We'll see you on the Sales to CEO podcast. Hey guys, thank you so much for listening to the Sales to CEO podcast. Look, real simple, do me a big favor. Number 1, I'm totally grateful you took the time to listen, but share this, like, subscribe. This is how we build our network of growing people in the car industry to the next level. Again, like or share or subscribe right now. Until the next one, great selling, and let's go to the next level.